And we should be live. It's the voice of the blockchain here. Satoshi's big cousin, cryptography's finest, Champagne Crypto. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, today we're talking about crypto and the alternative culture. We have a special guest on with us today, one of the boomers from the population of the chat box, Kris Cantu. How you doing, Kris?
Doing great, champ. Ready for another great stream. Thanks for having me on.
I'm glad we finally got you on. I've been checking out your channel. I know you frequent the population of the chat box, and the energy's right. I know you're not a crypto YouTuber. You do what I like to call alternatives, because that seems to be the word of the era now, or the word of the day, alternatives. I know you do MGTOW, you do Red Pill, and there seems to be a thread here. And like I said, I want to anchor it with that word alternative.
Absolutely, champ. We'll get into it, and appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and run down the markets here, see how healthy things are looking as the rest of the boomers tune into the box. I see Cracky, I see Original Copy, the Revolutionist, XPO, Bit Papa, and the rest of the boomers. Let's go ahead and talk about these prices. Look how healthy the markets are looking, and get into this alternative culture, this alternative lifestyle that I want to talk about with Kris here, and see some of the overlays that he might be experiencing with the alternative culture. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I won't be able to do the kabooms and the bombs today. We're doing things directly from Google Hangouts, but you guys are still rocking with me. So let me go ahead and share with you guys top 100 cryptos today. Coin market cap looking about the same. Let me go ahead and hit refresh, make sure that we're up to date with the latest booming information. 207 billion on the markets today, guys. Bitcoin dominance at 53.9, about the same as we were yesterday. You know how I feel about this, guys. I think we're going to be in a stable market. Guys are looking for stable coins, looking for Big Daddy to stabilize the coin, and it looks like the free market has stabilized Bitcoin. It appears to be. We've been about 6,000 to 7,000 for some time now. Bitcoin at 64.58, Ether at 203. We got to talk about Vitalik out there trying to get in the gym out there, Kris. We need to get him in the gym, indeed.
Ship him some creatine, and let's get it going. Come on, Vitalik.
Yeah, apparently the guys over there at Ripple, they hijacked the bag, and they swapped it out for soy. Ripple at 45 cents. What do you think about the rips?
Trash bags all day.
Trash bags all day. All right. Bitcoin Cash at 434. We got EOS at 534. This is another semi-polarizing coin. Are you on the EOS train, or how do you feel about that?
You know, I try to keep it simple. Top three, maybe some lights. That's pretty much it. That's all I mess with.
Okay. We got Stellar there at 23 cents. This is Ripple's little cousin. Do you know anything about this one? Because, you know, this is one that I gave a pass to here in the population, but I know it's associated family with Ripple, so I got an eye on it. Definitely, I'm not on the train, but let's see where it goes. How do you feel about this one?
You know, ever since the beginning of the year, I've just consolidated all to really just Bitcoin. After your advice, and just really just play it safe at this point. HODL gang.
Absolutely. And then we got the lights at $53. I've still got a bag of lights. You know, this one I feel kind of 50-50 with. I mean, I've been on the Litecoin train since they were listed on Coinbase back in the days. And I remember picking up Litecoin for $10, $15, $20. And I remember even buying Litecoin at 250. I got a little bit, I feel some type of way after Charlie Lee dumped the bag on us, but you know, I'm still riding with the train. Are you a Litecoin boomer as well?
I got a couple of affiliates that I get paid out in Litecoin, and I've just lost so much money. It's just we're bleeding out with the lights. So everything that I had a few months ago, I moved it into the bits. So I hope to see it do well. But you hear in the chat these guys mention about the GitHub that hasn't been updated in so long. So, you know, I've gotten out of lights myself, but you know, obviously guys are bleeding out if you're buying at 250, and then now it's back to where it's at now. But hey, you offset it, you dollar cost average if you've been getting it at $10, $15 early days.
Absolutely. I feel there is some sort of place for Litecoin here in the crypto space. It just hasn't seemed to have defined its niche yet, or I mean, maybe it has, but it hasn't secured its position. What appears to be $53. I would like to see it over 100, back to 200, but let's see where it all goes. Tether there at 98 cents, suffering a bit of a funny bunny there with Tether. We'll talk about that later as well. Cardano at 7 cents, Monero at 104, Tron at 2 cents, IOTA at 49 cents, and then we got Dash. Shout out to the Dashaholics at 153. Okay, guys, if you're just tuning in, we got boomers jumping into the population of the chat box right now. The Revolutionist, Cracky 916, Cliff Martin, CryptoZilla, Ahmed, Earn with Papu, Derek, and the rest of the boomers. Guys, make sure that you're touching all the buttons for me, the like, the subscribe, the post notification button, the ding ding. Guys, stay tuned in to the good crypto word that we spread here daily. And today it's a special show. We have a special guest here. I'm not sure if you guys recognize Kris Cantu from the population of the chat box over here. He's a boomer here with the population, and I wanted to invite him on the show because it seems to be like there's an overlap between people going their own way. I know you speak about MGTOW issues and the crypto community, the alternative media that's been under attack here with the shadow bans or whatnot. And just that word alternative, I don't know why it keeps sticking into my head. I don't know. This alt culture seems to be like a boom. Do you feel like there's an overlay, or is it just me assuming this?
Absolutely, champion. First off, thanks for having me on. Shout out to all the crypto warriors in the box. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And I feel like there's an awakening going on, whether you call it alt or crypto or whatever you want to call it. Just worldwide, there's an awakening going on where people are realizing that they were sold a lie. That all of the programming, all the way since they were a little baby bear cub, all the way up until now, they've been sold this lie. And so each one, as we're teaching one, waking up each other, getting into things like crypto, getting into things like I would say alternative lifestyle, but essentially what I'm advocate for is just going your own way. Getting off the plantation, not being stuck in a cubicle 9-to-5 corporate slave wage job, and just going your own way and seeking the opportunity that's out there. A friend of mine mentions that there's gold in the air. You literally just have to reach out and grab it. And that's what the internet has brought us some 30 years ago. And I think that's the opportunity that crypto brings us today. Although we've had our bumps along the road, ups and downs, from December all the way to where we are now. But my heart is in crypto. You were a big influence in me getting into crypto big time around this time last year. And so I owe you a big debt of gratitude for the positive energy that you would bring to your live streams. If I could just backtrack a little bit, and around August of last year, I had gotten laid off from my job. I was living the home free lifestyle. Essentially, I moved out of my fancy apartment and moved into my Jeep. And so I was living in my Jeep, living in Denver, Colorado, and I gotten laid off from the job. And so I decided to get into more crypto. I had invested a couple years ago, back around $300, $400 into Bitcoin. But I decided to go full steam ahead, start doing crypto videos. You and Trevon James were big influences on myself. And literally, I would sit in my Jeep. I would wake up. There'd be icicles literally on the ceiling. I would wake up in the parking lot. I'd put on my internet that I was stealing from the coffee shop, and I would hear the morning Monday morning broadcast. I'd hear the good word from your channel, and I would just get excited about this new opportunity that we were in with crypto. So luckily, and just through the grace of God, I was able to stack my crypto bags, and now live in Phuket, Thailand. Have so for about a year coming up now, since last December. So from all your positive energy, getting in there, just keeping it positive, giving us the good word with the rundown on the markets and different opportunities to boom. You really put me in that great, positive mindset to be able to take advantage of it. And now I'm sitting back, I have a great life out here, not living in a Jeep anymore, in a small box, but now kind of upgraded and just being able to travel the world. Been to Bali, been to Cambodia, been to Vietnam, So all of this was done on the back of those crypto investments, things like Bitcoin, Steam, Ether, a couple others, taking the hits on Litecoin. But thanks to you and putting out that good word, and the crypto warriors in the box, guys like Shalom, guys like Big Papa, guys like Afterman, they were in there putting out their 2 cents, and we're all helping each other and helping each other to boom. So thank you, and thank you to all the crypto warriors out there.
Well, thank you for the motivation, and congratulations from getting out of the cubicle. I always say this, I find this important. I find that the alternative lifestyle, the alternative economics, and again, back to that word, leads you to a path of independence, an independent boomer. I find very important, and I definitely caught that from you while I was checking out your videos. I did check out your videos while you were living in the trailer out there. I think you said it was Colorado, right?
Yep, Denver, Colorado. Yep.
Okay. And then let me ask you, so you said you got into crypto at somewhere around that time. Was crypto something that you learned about when you decided to do the home free lifestyle, or did you already know about it? Like, what actually brought you to crypto? Do you feel like this alternative lifestyle brought you to crypto, or crypto brought you to the alternative lifestyle?
I bought a couple of Bitcoins back in 2013, back when it was around $300, $400. So I had those kind of locked away, stacked up. But once I lost the job, I was already doing videos on MGTOW, or men going their own way. You can kind of type in MGTOW and see, a slew, thousands of videos essentially about men discovering their own personal freedom and going their own way off of the plantation. So I'd already invested in that kind of MGTOW content as a content producer. And, once I lost my job, got laid off, it was, okay, what am I going to do now? I got all day to make video content. What am I going to produce in terms of content? And so that's when I decided to jump back into the realm of crypto after being inspired by guys like you and really Trevon James, seeing what you guys were doing with various platforms. And so I was like, well, I know a little bit about this crypto. Maybe I can do some informative videos and start putting my links out and start, kind of building a base that way. So that's what I did. I kind of re-engaged it after I'd been dormant a couple of years. And then, one video a day on crypto, just kept building it up. And that's what was able to allow me to boom and stack basically towards the end of last year. Obviously, we had an epic run up through December, 20K Bitcoin. As I see on your channels each and every day, it feels like we're going to go back to that point and exceed it at some point. So this is just kind of I guess a pullback, if you will, if anything. Saw the opportunity, started creating content each and every day, putting out the positive message, and it benefited me in spades.
That's awesome, man. Let's talk about diets as well, because we could sit here and talk about crypto the whole time, but I think that I want to talk more about alternatives, and dieting is something that has really came up in my life, as a path to becoming a better man and becoming more in control of my own self. Could you let us know a little bit about, the carnivore diet? I know you've recommended that as well. You talk about different diets, eating raw meat, eating raw eggs and whatnot. How did you come across that? And what do you think about all that?
Absolutely. It's interesting. And I mentioned the programming that we've been under since we are all baby bear cubs. So today, it's not so much about learning something new. It's about deprogramming yourself from everything that you've been told. So if we think back, hundreds of years, what did our ancestors do? They would go out, they would hunt, they would kill an animal, they would open it up, eat the organs, eat the muscle meat. They would find some eggs. They would eat the eggs raw. So it's almost like we need to get back to nature in how we see our diets. There's all kinds of, I guess, frankenfoods, for lack of a better word, fast foods, frankenfoods, GMO, just foods made in a laboratory somewhere. And so once we get off of that, and I'm sure Cryptonomicon will pop in here soon talking about the vegan lifestyle. Vegan lifestyle is good, and a lot of people get benefits from that because it's a better alternative than the frankenfoods. But if we really want to get back to nature and really want to get back to a natural diet, we really should be eating meats and whole foods. So eggs, meats, different kind of fermented foods. This is what our ancestors ate. They got them through the famines, got them through the climate, the weather. This is what kept us going so that we could all be here now listening to the stream. So the more that we can get back to nature in terms of diet, I changed my diet. I was out here in Thailand, tons of rice everywhere, rice. And I'd gotten here and I was eating rice every day and just not feeling good, very lethargic, bad skin, just really not feeling my best. I made a change over to the carnivore diet and then added raw eggs every day. So every day I pop open 5 raw eggs, take that down, no problem. Hit a good workout, hit another 5 eggs. Starting to expand to 15, have a couple before night, before I go to sleep. But a natural kind of raw diet versus all of these processed foods or just a lot of carbs. So that's what I've done for me. Tons of energy, clear mind every day. Did away with the brain fog and just feeling great every day. So again, not learning anything new, just more deprogramming ourselves and going back to nature.
Yeah, and I want to talk about how that natural diet can relate to a natural economy. We know that the fiat system that we have now arguably is funny bunny. I'm sure most of the boomers here in the population know that the Federal Reserve is basically printing up money out of thin air. In relation to dieting, you're talking about natural and sound food. And I think that there's an overlay there with economics as well, natural money and sound money. And that Bitcoin is often referred to as the gold of the internet. Do you see it as Bitcoin as sound? Do you see it as like, a natural, digital currency? Do you see where I'm going with this or maybe a little bit off to the deep end?
No, absolutely. I mean, you look at it, you own your private keys. I own my private keys. If I want to send you some money from here in Thailand over to you in the USA, within 30 minutes, I can wire you however much money. And it can be a private transaction between, you and myself, versus if we had to do that same transaction through the quote unquote banking system, there would be wire transfers and fees and, identification involved and all of this stuff to be kind of plugged further into the matrix. And so just in terms of, take it back again a couple hundred years ago, if you had some sheep and I had some hay for your horses, we would make a swap and we would discuss a proper, what would benefit you, what would benefit me. We'd negotiate, we'd come upon a deal, we'd shake hands, and then we'd swap. And so it kind of takes us back to that natural way of doing business, whether it be bartering or trade. That it doesn't have this false government interference in it. It's just very natural to be able to trade resources with each other. So the fact that I have my private keys, man, if I lose those keys, man, there goes all my crypto. And so the onus is on me to be able to have the responsibility to be able to even own my own private keys. And so, a lot of it goes back to nature, I think, just in terms of how human beings have bartered and communicated throughout history. So what I think, what you're getting at is that the governments, whoever, cousin Satoshi out there, the Nakamoto family, whoever that was, to leak this great technology into the world, and for us to take advantage of it and to see Bitcoin be at the price that it is, to see almost 2,000 other coins trying to replicate and kind of copy what the original did, is just a great benefit to all of us. That we have this opportunity. And I think that's what the governments don't like. They don't like you owning your own money. They don't like being able, you being able to trade with others across the world without giving their cut. And so that's why we've seen the attacks, whether it's in the media or in, the different whales coming in and shorting and dropping the price, raising the price. So we're in a war. I mean, you describe it perfectly within your live streams. We're in the trenches. Keep one in the chamber. You might have to lose a few limbs, but we're all here to boom, and we're all here to basically have our own freedom back from this matrix corporate system.
Absolutely. And going on further down that thread of, they don't want us to know about this information. Let's talk about censorship on YouTube, because I think that this is a topic that a lot of, alternative media, people on YouTube, on Twitter, that are trying to give us an alternative view to some of the mainstream content that's out there, are experiencing perhaps shadow bans, people not getting their feeds. And some channels have even been taken down. If I'm not mistaken, you had another channel that was just stripped down completely, right?
Oh yeah. So if you guys click over to my channel now, you'll see less than 1,000 subs. I had another channel that was completely taken off air. There was around 10,000 subs at the time. This was in March of this year. Really didn't get a reason why they took it down. It's spam and deceptive practice. They don't really give you an accurate reason why. But it was around the time when they did basically a house cleaning of all. I guess you could say alternative content producers that were putting out positive information and really binding people together. And that's what they don't want to happen. We can stay off in our own silos, creating content. But once you start kind of gathering other like-minded individuals together for a common good of freedom, personal freedom, then they don't like that. And so they came through, they took off my channel, didn't give me really a reason, 10,000 subs, over 500 videos gone. And so, obviously the only thing left to do is create a new channel, start putting out new videos, which is what I've done now. So yeah, I've been a victim of this. Well, I don't say a victim. I lost a limb, but we're still in the trenches fighting the war. So there's only one thing left to do, is to keep on fighting. And it's just more of a confirmation that I was over the target, putting out information that, really helped inspire, I think, other, specifically men, to build themselves in mind, body, and spirit. I would get so many emails saying, Kris, I'm in a bad place. I'm going through a divorce, or I'm dealing with these issues. I'm dealing with alcohol abuse or different things like that. And so my videos were kind of a beacon of light for those guys out there. And I'm continuing to be that beacon, just as, Champagne Crypto was a beacon for me, getting me into crypto and putting out that good crypto word. So, censorship, we're going to see more of it, I'm afraid. But luckily, there's other platforms, like we talk about Steem. We talk about BitTube, which I mentioned a couple days ago.
Are you on BitTube yet? Or is that something that we should jump on, or what?
I think so, because I'm a video guy. So I've been doing videos for a long time. So I tested out Steem, DLive, DTube, some of the others, BitChute. What I really like about BitTube is most of the features are there that you would expect. They got live streaming, they got the live chat. The videos upload very quickly. So unlike DTube, I would upload a video. You have to do it a certain way. You have to do it in a certain order for it to upload properly. I have a ton of videos on DTube that don't even play. Whatever I did wrong, they're up there. I can't take them down, but they don't play. So with BitTube, what I like is it's very quick. Your uploads go up there pretty fast, and you can earn tube coins, which was a total surprise for me. I had thrown out maybe 10 videos up there. I checked about a month later, and this was a couple days ago. I earned 385 tube coins. So I checked the coin market cap. They're at 10 cents each. Oh, it's on Bitrex. Okay, so I threw those over to Bitrex, made about 35 bucks. Boom, boom, boom. So that's more than I made off of YouTube. I'm not even monetized on YouTube with the new channel. So I would recommend it as the main backup. I know other people are big on Steem, DTube, and BitChute, and Minds, and a couple others. Gab has a new platform, but I'm a big believer in BitTube, not only for the financial gain, just from the ease of use of the platform itself.
Yeah, I'm just checking out BitTube right now on CoinMarketCap, ranked 360, currently trading at 9 cents. You could trade it on, you're right, Bittrex, Trade, Orgri, Upbit. This is a platform that not only you have talked about, but other boomers there in the box, revolutionists and others have been recommending. So I may have to jump on this train here with you guys. Definitely, it seems like we need an alternative to YouTube. Will it be BitTube? Will it be DTube, Steem, or should we jump on all of them? And I think that you kind of answer that we should be on several of them. Is there one, alternative to YouTube that you would say is the main alternative? Is that BitTube, or are you playing with all of them?
And it's hard to name anything close to YouTube. I mean, you look at it, it's connected to the largest search engine in the world. When I have a couple other channels floating around that I don't really publicize, but when I want to get something ranked, I go to YouTube. So just for that factor, it's kind of hard to talk about an equal. But I would say that the next biggest, you always want to have a backup and maybe a few backups. For now, I would say BitTube. Steem is cool. There's different ways to earn. I know you've been big on Steem and DTube and DLive. For me, it's a little clunky. I don't like that the two things I don't like about Steem are that you post a video, you only have 7 days, and then you can't edit it or delete it. I mean, maybe you can edit it, but you can't delete it. And then spammers. I had some weird, I won't get into it here because it's a family program, but just some weird spam coming in some of my Steem posts that I couldn't delete. I could block them, but anyone else came on, they could still see those comments there. So that's what I really don't like about Steem.
So with YouTube, can you delete videos and edit them after the fact, or how does that work? Because I know they're using the IFPS database. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's the same system that DTube uses. So could you edit that, or how does it work with BitTube?
I think so. That's a great question. I know I've gone in and edited my video description, but I don't know if I can pull those videos down. Great question. Maybe it has the same issue with that, because it goes on the blockchain, and then once it's kind of hard coded into the blockchain, it might not be able to take off. But there's some videos floating around from some of those lending programs that we won't get into here. But I'd sure like to take those off of Steem just because they're not relevant anymore. But I'd have to double check that with BitTube.
All right. As the rest of the boomers tune into the box, we got $2 tip from Rafterman. Shout out to Rafterman, always dropping his 2 there in the super chat. I appreciate it. I would throw the bomb for you guys, drop a little fiat off the roof, but we're streaming directly from Google Hangouts, so I don't have the operating software here to do that. But kaboom to Rafterman. I appreciate you. We got Universal Vibes out here, Bit Papa, Revolutionist Original Copy, Practical Eric, and then Derek McLean says, drinking breast milk is the first thing we eat as a baby. Should we be drinking that too? Now, it's funny that Derek said that, because I was learning about some bodybuilders that drink breast milk. Do you know anything about that?
I know 2 Chainz is rapped about it, and I'd be all for it. But here's the deal, guys. You don't want to go on the dark web. You don't want to go onto these shady sites and start buying breast milk out there, right? So make sure you know the source, just like any organic food, whether it's red meat, whether it's eggs. Just make sure you know where you're getting your breast milk from. That's what I'd say about that.
Absolutely. A revolutionist says, basically, we're back to a tribalist system. That would be great, but there's simply way too many people for nature to feed without corporate slaughterhouses and their GMOs. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that, some people think that the population is overpopulated. I think that's a bunch of hype. Do you believe in overpopulation? Do you think that, do you agree what he had to say? There's simply too many people for nature to feed without corporate slaughter, or how do you feel about that?
I think it's a myth. I don't believe in overpopulation at all. I mean, do this exercise next time you guys want to think about overpopulation. Next time you're on an airplane and you take off, let's say from Miami to Austin, Texas, you're flying. Once you get up to a certain altitude, man, there's nothing out there. There's just fields and more fields and more fields. So the fact that we're all consolidated into these big cities, whereas we used to be an agriculture based society where everyone was spread out, in the rural areas, and now we're all crammed into these cities because that's where the work is. So no, I don't believe in overpopulation at all. I think that there's a sustainable way that we could all grow our own food, our own livestock, our own chickens, our own cows, and it be completely sustainable. I think it's just a myth, just like the myth of climate change. Just like the myth of it's basically a scarcity mindset. And so as we progress down the road and we start awakening minds out there, we're going to start to see that a lot of these things that we were led to believe since we were very, very small, since we weren't even born yet, came out to end up to be false. Another thing that I am a big proponent of is hemp. And to be able to live sustainable lifestyles based on hemp, you can use it for food, you can use it for fuel, you can use it for construction material. There's so many things that you can use hemp for, and it's essentially a weed. I mean, it'll grow everywhere. If you do the research, towards the end of World War II, farmers used to have to dedicate a portion of their crops to growing hemp. And then they would kind of ship that off, and they would make ropes and different things out of it to support the war. But if we were to go back and be able to grow hemp, that would help a lot in terms of sustainability on multiple fronts. But again, that's one of those things that they just, it's not the smokable kind, but it's still, you can't grow it, you can't have it. It's one of those things that we're basically being oppressed. The fact that we can't grow this God-given plant. So things like this, I think the more that we have these open discussions about the awakening and what's going on and different alternatives, the more that people are going to start to realize that they've been lied to. And then the more that we're going to demand things like cryptocurrency, things like, being able to grow sustainable hemp, different foods that we're eating that we're being robbed of. I would say that there's not enough organic red meat out there. There's not enough organic supplies of milk and eggs and things like this. They're trying to outlaw raw milk nationwide. So we have to really take a deeper dive into what we're being held back from, and really just help awaken our fellow brothers and sisters out there.
Indeed, guys, if you're just tuning in, we have 31 cryptomaniacs in the box. We got a guest over here, Kris Cantu. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed him from the population of the chat box, but he's a YouTuber that frequents the channel. I have his link down below to his YouTube channel and his website. I encourage you guys to check him out. He speaks about red pill issues, MGTOW issues, and he's dive and slide into the crypto as well. And the reason I brought him on is because I feel like there's a overlap going on here between all alternative media, and it seems like that crypto is an anchor that a lot of the alternative media and alternative politics, alternative economies are testing, or what's another word I'm looking for? They're playing with challenge. Yes. But yeah, definitely it's something that we see here, crypto popping up in the alt culture. Kris has shared with us the home free lifestyle that he lived out there in Colorado. How did you get into the home free lifestyle? Could you actually talk a little bit more about what exactly is the home free lifestyle? I mean, we know you were out there living in a trailer for a while, but is home free necessarily living in a trailer, or what is it exactly?
Yeah, great question. And again, YouTube, I saw a guy, I was living in this fancy apartment in Austin, Texas, right next to downtown Austin, paying almost $2,000 a month for this apartment just for myself, no wife, no kids. And I was like, man, I got to get out of this corporate hamster wheel. And so I saw a guy on YouTube named I Am Jake. You guys can look him up. I am Jake. And it was just this dude that lived in his Jeep and made videos every day, vlogging, kind of like Casey Neistat, just making videos from his Jeep. And he was part of the Air Force Reserve, so he'd have to go back every month, every couple months. But he was just essentially making a living and getting supporters following his YouTube channel. So I sat back to myself and I thought, maybe this is something that I can do and kind of add my red pill kind of a truth-seeking kind of content to this home-free lifestyle. So I could have easily gotten another apartment. I could have easily, gotten another place. So I call it the home-free lifestyle because it was a choice. Thank God that there's, I saw a lot of people during my home-free lifestyle that didn't have the choice. And I would wake up oftentimes, especially in Colorado, around other, truly, homeless people, whether they were mentally ill or, they were just down on their luck, sleeping in their cars. But, I was very blessed that I could not only have a Jeep, and then I upgraded to a brand new Jeep, but that I could have a place that was decked out with, the sleeping mat and the sleeping bag and the heater and the portable fan and all, so I was very lucky in terms of that. So I basically took the chance and I bought a 6x12 trailer, enclosed trailer. Basically sold all of my stuff, my furniture, my extra stuff. I gave away what I couldn't sell. And then I decided I'm going to do this as long as it takes. I'm going to continue to grow my YouTube channel. I'm going to continue to make videos, speaking my truth. And from the process of moving from Austin to Colorado, I ended up buying some land out in the mountains in Colorado. So I had that paid off, started investing all that extra money that I wasn't wasting on rent into crypto. And so that's why I'm able to kind of, live out here in a much cheaper way here in Thailand. I would say, someone had mentioned in the chat, let's see, my job is making me miserable. I'm quitting very soon to focus more on crypto and YouTube. I have plenty saved. What do you guys think? So Danak series, I mean, if you want to research that, there's tons of others that are doing the same, where you just make your vehicle into a livable space. You get a gym membership at like a 24-hour fitness or an anytime fitness. And then you just, you just make your way, showering at the gym, whether you want to work. I actually worked the whole time. I had gone through various jobs while I was doing the home free lifestyle. But it's a way to save on rent so that you can stack and plan for a better future for yourself. So it was a risk. I could have easily, something bad could have happened easily. I could have easily just given up and gone back to the corporate slave system. But luckily, with the timing of losing the job, getting a severance check, investing in crypto, having guys like you, put out that good crypto word and kind of be a beacon of light to different investments and different opportunities. It all just hit off at perfect time. And then I was able to move out here and extend my stay out here thanks to my investments. So, I would recommend it. I think everyone should give it a try because it really makes you appreciate what you do have. Now I have a pretty nice condo, nice air conditioning, nice pool, little gym workout center where I go hit the weights. But definitely during that time that I was about a year and a half that I was living that home free lifestyle, really made me appreciate the things that I did have and the opportunities that I did have. So it makes you hungry. I think people out there, whether you're man or woman, we live in a comfort society. So the more that you can get outside your comfort zone, that's when you're really going to grow. But if you're always stuck in this comfort, whether you have a job, that you don't like, but you don't like it enough to quit and go do something on your own. So I think that comfort zone kind of keeps us locked in. Whereas if we took a risk, took a chance, and then maybe learned something about ourselves and helped us grow, I think that's the path to freedom that you could choose to be on. So it worked out for me. I don't know if it would work out for others, but that's kind of my path to where I'm at today.
So would you say your main motivation to live this alternative lifestyle and get into crypto is basically to get out of the corporate matrix, is what I'm understanding? Is that correct?
Yeah, just having someone have say over, basically not having a boss is what it comes down to. As a man, you don't want to have to be told what to do by someone else and have to bite your lip. And I think just deep down from the very beginning as a kid, I always knew I was meant for something greater. And I looked at, I'm not that's, terribly intelligent. I'm just an average guy, but I looked at what was I good at? And then I focused on the things that I was good at, which is speaking and doing videos. And I didn't really worry so much about the skills that I wasn't good at. And so I just doubled down on that, speaking and doing videos. And then, was able to earn a couple side revenues, multiple streams of income with doing videos and on a couple other channels that I run, that I don't put my name out there or face out there, but that still, make me money. And just in terms of crypto, being able to do crypto tutorials, for that short period of time that I was doing it, man, I was able to boom and earn a lot from that opportunity there. So, I would say as a man that wants to get off the plantation and not be told what to do and be paid for what you're worth, I think one of those key mindset shifts is you don't want to be paid for your time. You want to be paid for your results. And that was one of the mindset shifts that I made that allowed me to kind of double down on what I was good at and then start to earn revenue that way. Thankful for this platform, being able to put these videos out and getting them ranked and then people clicking on the links. So, I think every man, should have that passion for freedom and individual freedom and pursue that. But, what we're trained to do is just, go to work, get the job, get the mortgage, get that car payment, be stuck in the hamster wheel. And so if you can break free from that, I mean, I lived in my Jeep for 1.5 years to get out of that. So if you can bear something like that, being out of your comfort zone for that long, there may be good possibilities. Based on my story, at least I was able to see those from the struggles that I went through.
Kaboom to that, guys. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about crypto and alternative culture. This is a live chat with Kris Cantu, one of the boomers here from the population of the chat box. I'm glad that I have you on. I think this is something I need to do more often. I think all the YouTubers as well. I actually heard you say that on one of your previous streams, that you want to get into more collaborations. And I think all of us need to stick together, whether we're doing crypto, whether you're doing any sort of alternative media. I definitely feel like there's something there. Shout out to Ryan with the $2 there in the population of the chat box. Let's talk about Thailand and crypto. Had you been to Thailand before? And what's the scene with crypto out there?
No, I had never been outside of United States, Canada, and Mexico. Damn near 40 years of my life. I remember 2 years ago, I took a trip to Cabo San Lucas. And it was the first vacation I ever took for myself in my adult life. I would travel for work or I would do conferences, things like this, but I never took my own vacation. And I remember sitting there, I was surfing, the beautiful sunset, just all different colors in the sky, blues, orange, yellow. It was crazy. They're surfing and I'm like, I got to figure out a way to make money online and live like kind of a digital nomad lifestyle. So it took 2 years from that moment till I was actually able to do it. I had never been to Thailand before. Another guy that I follow, Victor Pride at boldanddetermined.com, puts out a great blog. He's been living a digital nomad lifestyle and blogging about it and putting out different products and ebooks and things like that for quite some time. So I always knew of the possibility, but it seems so far away in my mind. Like Thailand, man, it seems like you might as well go to the moon, as far as how my mental perspective was on it. But I got an opportunity. A friend of mine was having a conference in December, last December. A couple of guys that I follow online were able to put this together. And so I bought my ticket. I made sure I had everything kind of stored away in the mountains in Colorado. And I didn't expect that I would be living here for almost a year now. But I came out here, 1 month led to another, different opportunities opened up for me in terms of living out here. And I decided to make it my home. And it's going to be my home for at least another year or so. As far as I can tell. So Thailand, it's a great place. I'd say the #1 place to be a digital nomad. It's very easy to live here. I don't speak Thai. Just people are very friendly. They call it the land of 1,000 smiles. Everyone's super friendly here. There's, it's not perfect, just like any place. But in terms of basically the word's gotten out. There's so many expats coming here. There's a lot of Russians here, a lot of Chinese. So it gives you that different perspective from the other side of the world. But at least for me, for the time being, it's here. I may go back to the States. I may stay out here and float around some more. Bali is another beautiful place that I visited that I may check out for more longer term. But if you can find a way to be able to earn money online through the internet or through crypto and use that as your main source of income, I think that's the biggest challenge. It's not whether you come out to Thailand or go to any of these other places or go to China. A lot of people go live in China. It's can you build a sustainable income online that will fund everything? And of course, out here, it's much cheaper. I mean, I live in a brand new condo. It costs a fraction of what it would in Denver, Colorado, or Austin, Texas, or Miami. A fraction of the cost. So as long as you can get that, monthly income coming in, multiple streams of revenue, then you can make it work out here. Yep.
Yeah, you mentioned that part of the reason that you were able to get out to Thailand was by hodling crypto. So what's the crypto scene like there in Thailand? Do you find people more educated about crypto over there as compared to here, or vice versa, or what's the difference?
It's tough to say. I mean, there's a lot more Russians here. I've run into a couple of them that were into crypto, whether it was guys or girls. They kind of, I tell them, oh, Bitcoin, and oh yeah, Bitcoin. So it's hard to tell. I think globally, everyone's still we're still part of the 1 or 2% that actually know about crypto. The average guy walking on the street is not going to know, or his conditioning is going to say, oh, it's a scam, or oh, I heard of that Bitcoin. It's fake money, or it's fake internet money. So I think we're in a great place where we're still early days, and that a couple of us, the crypto warriors here in the box, we have the advantage still in terms of being on something in the early days. But yeah, walking down the street, it's most times than not, they're not going to know what Bitcoin is or crypto or private keys or your address or anything like that. So I don't get the sense that they're more hip to crypto out here. I've had a few conversations.
How about less hip? Do you think that they're less hip, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think just I have a conversation with a guy from China, and he's just totally no way, it's just so far out for him to even think that he would put any money into an investment like crypto. So I think they're a little further behind out here, although there's some pockets where like in Cambodia they're doing mining. South Korea is a huge they're very technologically advanced in a place like South Korea. So you'll get pockets, but for the most part, the average guy walking down the street is not going to know about Bitcoin or crypto or anything like that. So probably much the same in the United States, or if they've heard about it in the United States, they have a negative connotation about it. And so that's just our opportunity to keep stacking, keep booming, and wait for the next bull run.
Absolutely. Shout out to Ryan Shore, $2 there in the super chat. I appreciate it, Ryan. Shout out to guys like Rafterman, Bit Papa, Special Ed, Andrew, and the rest of the boomers here. Someone was asking there, Keenum is asking, how do you stay there for so long in Thailand? Do you need like a green card? He's asking.
Yeah, good question. So it goes by visas, and there's different types of visas that you can get. Honestly, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble for saying this, but you just pay a little bit extra, and you get your visa taken care of. You just, pay them a little extra, and they take care of it for you. You go pick up your passport, it's got the stamp. So every 3 months, I got to renew that stamp. And just luckily, I'm in a position where I can pay a little bit extra, and they take care of it for you. So, but much the same as in Vietnam, Cambodia. Used to be super easy, 1 year visa. Boom, they're kind of tightening up on that. I think what's happening is from putting the ear out there that China was very locked in for many years. They weren't able to travel until recently. And so you see a lot of Chinese tourists, traveling around, going to these different countries, both on holiday and trying to live. And so I think because there's so many Chinese, coming and trying to live here, some of these countries are kind of tightening up a bit on their visa requirements. But it used to be, a couple of years ago, come to Thailand, just get the 1 year stamp. Just one time, boom, you're done. 1 year, you're good to go. Similar to what it used to be in Cambodia up until recently. So, you just, you figure it out. You meet another Canadian or Australian or another expat, and you talk to them. You trade notes. Oh, this worked for me, or check this place out, or this is what I did, and you get the intel, and then you take action on it. And so luckily that's what I did. Had a few recommendations, boom, went there, paid the money, and now I got the 1 year visa. So I think I should be able to extend that for another year, and then after that, we'll see where the next stop is.
Absolutely. And those expats that you're meeting out there in Thailand, are they up to the Bitcoin game? Are they up on the game, or do they know about crypto, or are you educating them as well?
I'm doing a lot of the early on education. Some are on it, and they're putting money into it, and they're hodling, but a lot still aren't. A lot of them are still kind of in the old money game, or they're starting. Here it's obviously big for travel. Like literally everyone saves their whole year just to come to where I'm at in Thailand, where all the beaches are at. So there's a lot of I would like Russian expats that maybe start a travel business, and then they get their visa through the business, and then they set up shop here, and then that's what they do. They do travel cruises, or different different trips or excursions, things like that. But again, for the most part, they're not into the crypto game. For the most part, a couple pockets here and there, but it's still blue waters out here as far as crypto goes.
Well, that may be an idea, an alternative culture and crypto retreat led by Kris Cantu out there in Thailand. I'm sure some boomers will be interested in that.
Oh yeah. And you pay with crypto, you come out here, you have a good time. You meet with other crypto YouTubers or crypto enthusiasts. I think that's definitely on the horizon, that we'll see more and more. And it's interesting. I follow a guy by the name of Crypto Clover. I'm sure a lot of guys follow him here. Do you follow Crypto Clover?
Yeah, I've seen him come up on the feeds.
Okay, good. He's out in Vietnam. He's more into the kind of high risk type of arbitraging and things like that. But he's another good guy to follow and to network with. And from his perspective, there's a lot of interest in countries like Vietnam and Thailand and China to get into some of these investments. So there's tons of opportunity here. Whereas if we were to make a couple dollars a day on crypto, from the States, we would look at that and say, it's maybe not advantageous for us. But for families living out here, a couple dollars a day goes a whole lot farther than it does in the States or in Australia and in the Western world. So I think there's a breeding ground, a lot of opportunity out here. But it all depends on who you're working with and the project, and being able to do that research, that due diligence, and make sure that it's a win-win for everyone. So still early days. I think still a ton of opportunity. I think we're in kind of that crypto winter. Since the beginning of the year, we're working out, we're talking about diet, we're talking about getting our 300, putting the heavy weight up, because it's kind of the off season right now. And
I like that term, the crypto winter. It's sexier than the crypto off season. I may have to adopt that.
Yeah. It's felt like it, and kudos to, for you guys like you to come up and still do these weekly podcasts, live streams, and still put that positive energy out there. Cause when I'm kind of feeling down and, I see crypto down a couple $100 and I'm like, this crypto, and then, have a guy like Champagne come up and still have the positive energy. We're just in the wintertime, and we're hibernating. But the springtime is coming. You can smell it in the air, and it's just a matter of time. And then we're going to look back and we're going to say, damn, I'm glad I took Champagne's advice. I'm glad I got into these platforms. I'm glad I, invested in some of these coins that he was talking about. And they're going to thank you just like I'm thanking you from even a year ago. So make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys subscribe. If you can throw a couple shekels into the super chat, and then I know that Baby Champagne's going to have some good weight gainer formula for him there. So just all positive energy, all appreciation for you, sir.
I appreciate it, Kris. Guys, make sure you check out Kris. I think we're going to start wrapping this up. Before we do that, I'll open it up for a few more questions. And I do want to ask you about a book that you are writing or have wrote. I know that you've been mentioning or reading certain chapters from your channel. If you want to go ahead and share here with the population about that book that you're doing.
Yeah, so I came out with a course. It's a audio and video course called Straight Line Mindset. And the way I look at it, there's three types of people in the world. You got your circular people. You can call them NPCs. You can call them blue pillars. They just basically do the same thing each and every day, expecting a different result. Living a circular, you could almost think of it as a hamster wheel lifestyle. There's a zigzag people, which I was a zigzagger, man, for so long. I'd start something, stop, start, stop, up, down, never really getting to my main goal or desired results. And then you got straight line people, guys and girls that just kind of go at their end result on a straight line, shortest possible distance, and get stuff done, take massive action, and then they see the results. And so, through my journey, putting out videos, building an audience, creating content, just doing that on a straight line and stopping, that I was able to achieve what I wanted to, which is have multiple streams of revenue, go live, outside the US, go live on a beach somewhere. I was able to do that. And so what I did is I put together an audio course called Straight Line Mindset. It's really just internal. We all have these software programs running in our mind, and sometimes we have to uninstall the disempowering software and then reinstall new software in its place. And so each of these chapters, that really, if you go to my channel, I've done a whole live lecture series where I give away the course essentially, where I help kind of reinstall that new empowering software into your mind, and different distinctions that you make within your mind and within your own mindset. So the course is available, straightlinemindset.com. You can go pick it up for the price less than a pair of shoes, or you can go to the channel and get the live lecture series, kind of an extended version of the course at no charge to you. So straightlinemindset.com, and you guys can go check it out there. And it's just to help everyone kind of get themselves to the next level. I needed a breakthrough. I lived, in a little parking lot for the better part of a year and a half to be able to break through and achieve what I wanted to do. And, if you guys are kind of stuck, or you feel like you're procrastinating, you feel like you can't get going on those things that you really want to achieve in your life, then having a straight line mindset will get you there the fastest way possible. So thanks for the opportunity to speak on that. And you guys can check out my channel, or just go to straightlinemindset.com to pick up that course.
You guys heard it right there, straightlinemindset.com. And I've been picking up some of those lectures too. I'll be tuning in. I'm not really a commenter. I like to talk it out, but I'm there lurking. I'm lurking.
Hashtag lurk squad. Sounds good.
Lurk squad. Indeed. Shout out to Universal Vibes, Lewis, Revolutionist, D-Rock, Impatient Potato, McLovin, Special Ed, Crypto Stacks, all the boomers, CryptoZilla, one of the day one boomers out there. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them. If not, I'm going to go ahead and start tuning out this broadcast. Okay, there we got a question from Lucian. He says, what are your top 5 altcoins and why?
Yeah, it's tough to say, because for me, there's Bitcoin and then there's everything else. And I've kind of taken some pages off of Champagne's streams. I know you're into the Ether, the Dash I've been into a little bit in the past, Litecoin, Steem. For me to be able to keep track of all the ups and downs and all the news with all the altcoins, it just got too much for me. Like I was overthinking things. It just got too much. So while I think that some of them will have everyday value, things like BAT, basic attention token, it has the browser, it's up and running, you can use it today. A lot of them are just, it's just too much to keep track of. So to be able to name top 5, even like Dash, okay, well, if I could pay you in Dash, or if I already have Bitcoin and just pay you in Bitcoin, there's a couple of things in the background, but essentially the same. So, I wouldn't even be able to answer that top 5. I'm just saying there's Bitcoin, and then there's everything else. Even Ether, just with the gas, and you gotta gas up something when you send it. For me, I just like things simple, and I've kind of consolidated everything into the bits.
More bits, and more kabooms. And I have to agree with you. I've been asked that question several times, and I dive and dabble in some of these baby altcoins. But like I always say, the majority of the bag should be in Bitcoin, and the rest is more just for fun. I'm on the EOS train. I like Steem. I got a bag of lights and some other altcoins there. But should they all blow up, we still have it hedged against the bits out there, and we wouldn't lose the house. So, I would agree with you. Bits, and more bits.
Absolutely. And, Tube, get you some Tube.
Yeah, Tube. I'm definitely going to have to check that out. Tube coin ranked 360. You're not the only one that's talking about it. Several other boomers. So maybe I'll just open up a channel and spread some word out there. Maybe we'll do another live stream. Maybe we'll do it on Tube one day or whatnot. I would definitely like to have you back on. And if there's any other people here in the population that have a YouTube channel that likes to produce content that's alternative, it doesn't have to necessarily be about crypto, but it needs to be something that's an alternative. I would like to have you guys on. So, go ahead and message me or drop it here in the population, the chat box. We'll definitely have Kris back on, and maybe I'll go on your channel one of these days. Why not?
Absolutely, champ. I would love to have you on. And just in closing, just guys, really look at a guy like Champagne Crypto as a true leader, bringing the positive energy, kicking out the baby bear, the haters, the soy boys,
the funny bunnies,
all these guys out here. Because here's what it comes down to: is it's much easier to talk about all the problems in the world. And it takes much more work. It takes much more leadership to talk about the positive aspects that are going on in the world. And make no mistake, as much as the media wants to bring you down with all this negative energy and negative news reports, there is a ton of opportunity out there. There is a ton of positive energy to be grateful for and thankful for. And Champagne's one of those guys that brings it each and every time with his live stream. So we really got something special here. Your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. I say that a lot, but it's true in my case. And I've even taken a couple pages off of your live streams and integrated it into my own content with soldiers in the box and the sniping trolls. And I asked my guys to get 100 troll scalps for me, when I'm doing my live stream. So,
I like that.
Yeah, yeah, a true leader, a true inspiration. You've definitely had a positive impact on my life, and I'm very grateful for that, sir. So, thank you, Champ, for having me on. Much appreciated. It looks like we got Marlon Jones, Bulls on the Block, with the $2 super chat. So yeah, throw your super shekels in here for Champ and Baby Champ. And thanks for having me on once again, Champagne. I really appreciate it, sir.
Guys, you heard from Kris Cantu, a boomer there from the population of the chat box. He started frequently in the chat box, and I checked out his channel, decided to bring him on. If you guys have a channel that you are covering alternative media, alternative frequencies, different ways to get to your goals, make sure that you reach out to me. Let's go ahead and build this community and catch each other's back out there. Thanks a lot to Marlon Jones, Bulls on the Block, for $2. Marlon's probably one of my oldest subscribers out there, not in age, but just in the amount of time that he's been subscribing here. Marlon, I appreciate you. CryptoZilla as well. He's another 5-star. Guys, if there's no other questions, I'll go ahead and start tuning out. Luis is asking, Champ, what's your recipe to be positive all the time? My recipe is understanding that if you're in the media game, you'll be easily sucked into negativity. I've been working in media for a long time throughout my life. In all types of different production roles. And one thing that you'll notice, the real easy cop out with media, is just to do negative media. That's why the majority of the news that you see online and on the tubes and on all the televisions is negative, because negative news spreads faster than positive news. So what keeps me motivated to spread that positive news is it's the tougher route. There's more resistance going to positive route. It's basically choosing to go the positive route is like putting more weight on the bar. You could easily just go to the gym, do 15, 20 reps of some light weight, but you're not going to make any gains like that. And that's the way I look at it here with the media. It's easy to just go the negative route. That's what everybody's doing. So, why do what the mainstream's doing? Or why not take, again, the alternative route and do what's harder? We don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard. Shout out to Kennedy. I definitely believe that. So we have another question. Denix is asking, what do you think about a standard 9-to-5 job that many people hate? What would you say to encourage people to quit a job that they hate? And I'll let Kris answer this after, I chime in my 2 cents. Don't get so mad about the 9-to-5 jobs out there. Okay. You got to ask yourself this question. Are you mad about yourself having to work? And you think that having an independent job will be an easier route? Because I'll tell you, it's going to be even more work if you don't have a 9-to-5, because then you're going to have to work all the time. So you need to ask yourself that question. Do you hate working? And are you looking for an excuse to not work? And, that excuse could be, oh, maybe I'll just, quit my job and go indie. Because going the indie route out there, Denix, is a lot tougher than just being for lack of a better term, an NPC. It's easy to just program yourself and just go ahead and run on autopilot, just do the 9-to-5 job and be a mindless drone. It doesn't take much thinking to do the 9-to-5. So in a sense, it's actually easier out there. But perhaps maybe you're starting to wake up, and you need just to ask yourself, if you're ready to unplug, are you ready for the responsibility that comes with unplugging from the matrix? Kris, do you want to go ahead and chime in on that?
Absolutely. I mean, I quit my job and had to get another job a few times before I really got everything to hit on all cylinders. So it's one thing to not want to work, to your point, Champ, and then you got some other issues to, I think, deal with. But if you think that you have more to offer the world and more value to give to the world in your own way, you're just kind of in between point where, you got to break through between the 9-to-5 and actually, making money and monetizing this gift that you have to the world, then that's a different story. And you should try and fail as many times as you need to actually get to where you're going. So, I'm all for it. Quit your job, freak out, figure it out, fail, have to go get another job, do that a couple of times. And eventually you're going to figure it out. Or if you just, you don't have any skills or any value to offer the world, then I kind of recommend you stay at the 9-to-5. until you develop those skills, until you develop the value that you can give to the world that people will pay you for. So that'd be my thoughts on it. But I think as we get closer to having AI and robotics take over a lot of the jobs, you go to McDonald's. I don't know if you've seen this, Champ, but you go to McDonald's and sometimes some of the cashiers aren't even there. You just type in what you want on the kiosk and then they order it up and give you your food. So if those jobs are being displaced, it's just going to be a matter of time before technology outpaces a lot of the jobs, not all of them, but a lot of them. So it's incumbent upon you guys to hone your skill sets. I think, and maybe you agree with me on this one, Champ, but a lot of the skill sets revolve around sales and marketing. If you can do sales and marketing, you can basically have a job the rest of your life. But if you don't have any marketable skills, it's not going to do you much good.
Yeah, I would 1,000% agree with you. If you want to go your own route, guys, you should have had some experience in sales at one point in your life. If you guys have never had a sales job before and you're interested in being an independent boomer, I encourage you to get a sales job and, bang out some cold calls, knock on some doors and understand what it is to be rejected out there and understand what it is to, really put in that work, get those contacts and, develop your sales skills because those are skills that you're going to need to float your own boat. Okay. I definitely agree with you there, Kris. And then to add to that, Denix, there's no reason why you can't just start doing things on independently part-time. You don't need to quit your 9-to-5 job to start writing a book. You don't need to quit your 9-to-5 job to open up a YouTube channel. You don't need to, stop doing one thing to do another thing. You may, want to start off slow and see if you can, do a video a day or a video a week on your part-time. If that goes well, maybe then, you could see if it's for you or not. Maybe, don't be so, don't be so quick to just quit one thing and say, oh, this is the solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I go to this quote, there's gold in the air. You just have to reach out and grab it. So whether it's YouTube, Instagram, these social media platforms, whether it's crypto, different platforms within crypto, there's tons of opportunity out there, but you got to be hungry and you got to be confident that you can go out and offer value into the world. And if you got those two things, man, sky's the limit. It's just a matter of time to do the work and get your value out there to the world. So it's a great time that we're living in. Someone Luis had mentioned, how do you stay positive all the time? Guys, you guys just got to dig deep and realize we live in the greatest time in human history. For me to be in Thailand and Champ to be in Florida, and we're talking to 30, 40 boomers from all over the world, and we're all communicating at dang near instantaneous speed to be able to talk and share ideas and share stories and help each other grow. It's really the greatest time in human history to be alive. So if that doesn't keep you positive, I don't know what will. And, I live out here in Thailand. Some of these guys and girls walking around on flip-flops, shower shoes on their last thread, they're hanging on their shower, the flip-flops, but they're smiling, they're happy, they got their family, they got, good positive energy with them. So you see that enough times living out here, and man, there's no reason that I can spend a day, having a down day or being sad or being depressed or anything. So just go push forward, make your situation better for yourself, create value and give that value out to the world. And the world is your oyster, and we're living in the greatest time in human history. That's my 2 cents.
Indeed, guys. Let's go ahead and end it there on that positive note with that positive energy. Let me thank Kris again for tuning in to the population, for coming in here and spreading that good MGTOW, that red pill knowledge, that crypto knowledge as well. I appreciate it, Kris.
Thank you, Champ. And, look forward to seeing more live streams. I'll be in the box with all the other crypto warriors, and we'll keep putting out a positive message and keep helping each other, pushing each other forward. So thanks for having me on. And thanks to all the crypto warriors out there in the box.
You got it. Shout out to Special Ed. Shout out to Denix, to Lucian Bop, Impatient Potato, Adam, Marlon, CryptoZilla, D-Rock, Lizzo, Luis, and the rest of the boomers there in the population of the chat box. It's the voice of the blockchain here, Satoshi's biggest cousin, cryptography's finest, Champagne Crypto. Thanks for tuning in.